Okay guys, what is up and welcome back to Carli D. Today is going to be day 2 of our book club meeting and we are reading, both of us, and this is by Jonathen Friesan. Alright, today we're going to start by reading one of my favorite parts of this whole entire book, and it goes as such. Alright, what makes any country real? Memories and history and people. Salem has all of them. I gave an exaggerating nod. Right. This inn was populated with the mad and deranged. I just witnessed a lottery where the winner's purse was found in Elias's mind. Who was this boy I agreed to chauffeur around? Alright, so in this part of the book, they've just had a lottery and they're discussing how much time each person gets to spend with Elias, who is of what it appears to be special needs. He is going to be the first person that Clara met on a train coming back from London to America. Okay, so as it starts out, because I read about 4 chapters of this book and I'm going on to chapter 5, Clara and Elias meet on their transportation coming back from London to the Americas, okay? Alright, so when they first interact with each other, it appears that it's two guys comes off really strongly as a man. Like, the way she describes the boy, she describes him like a man would describe another man, like a gay man talking up another guy in a bar or a restaurant or on a train, like they're on a train, like she's pushing up on him. Alright, so I don't know if you guys know the book better than me. I'm going to go ahead and read excerpts to explain the things that I'm talking about. If you're watching this, you probably do know this book or do want to know about this book or you're interested in it, so you'll be able to follow along with me. On the aisle, a tall, bald man. He winced and groaned, undoubtedly wishing for hinges with which to fold up his legs. His knees barricaded my road, but he quickly dislodged and stood, likely grateful for one last stretch. Beyond him, tucked into the window seat, sat a good-looking lad with his gaze locked into a sketchbook and his pencil working feverishly. He was so absent, he almost blended into the plane. I eased down and spoke. I could do worse. I removed that journal from my jacket pocket, tracing the numbers 1995 and the cross on its cover. I removed the shredded map from inside it and a marker from my pocket and jotted Nepal yellow. A quick count, 80 stars across from my 80 stars part 2. He peeked at me and our eyes met. I assigned to him, as my habit with all handsome blokes, a possibility of entanglement. Poe. Score. Poe for short. This involved 4 questions worth 3 points each. The outcome scored like a football. The lower the score, the safer for me. Has he shown himself to be needy? Yes. 3 points. Does he remind you of anyone from London? Oh yeah, the eyes of Geordie Waltham. 3 points. Does he show any interest in you? No. 3 points. Is he original? Window boy extracted a tiny pencil sharpener, and a baggie filled with shavings. He popped the plastic. Okay, he popped the plastic, sharpened the lid, and picked out 3 shavings, whispering as he went along. 1, 2, 3. He placed each minute flake into the bag. And then he carefully sealed the bag, bought it back into his pocket, and gave his pencil precisely 3 turns inside the sharpener. 1, 2, 3. I frowned. Is he an original? Yeah. 3 points. Total post score 12. So first thing I noticed is, like, it's kind of weird how she scores guys. And that's partially the reason why I thought that she was a guy doing this. Because you know how guys give girls like a rating, like, oh, you're a 10 or you're a 9 or you're a 5 or whatever. They give girls ratings when they meet them. And when I was first reading this, I was like, this has got to be a dude and they have to be like gay. But then when I went back and read it to give you guys the extra information and everything, they are actually girls. She was initially, Clara was in the airport. LaGuardia, by the way. Sorry, I got it wrong. It wasn't London yet. LaGuardia airport in New York, with a guy that she met, and she was hanging out with him, and then she switched from that to being on a plane, and then and again, the score is possibility of entanglement. So she gives them points for what is her possibility of actually interacting with this person, engaging with this person, having a relationship with this person, or etc. Moving on to whatever she calls it afterwards, because eventually she'll come on, but she does come on to him, and then he denies her or rebuffs her, or however you want to say it, and they move on from there. So later on in the story, they're getting off the the plane, and she leaves her bag. Like, she switches her bag with his because they have the same bag by accident. And she goes back to find having his was torn and left on the cabin of whatever cabin floor of the cabin that they were in. And she goes through the papers and she finds his address. So when she gets off the plane and she meets up with her friend, they decided they're gonna go to the bed and breakfast at which they're staying and try to retrieve the bag and switch them out. So it turns out Clara is actually going to be the child. She's like a blogger. Like, she Instagram, she texts, she does Facebook, she does not YouTube. YouTube is mentioned, but she is a blogger that she does blogging off of her mobile device or whatever. And she's from London, England. So she's talking to her friend when she gets off the plane, and she gives her the address and everything to go back over there. Well, after she talks to her, they get to the bed and breakfast and they meet Elias, who actually initially remembers Clara but doesn't remember taking her bag. Once she discusses Elias with, because he's like, you know, she starts to describe him and bring up Clara into the house and let her know. She's like, well, Elias has just unpacked the bag last night and organized everything in the room by height and weight, which hints at his disability. The more they discuss his disability, like, the odder it seems. And so his mom offers Clara a free night of stay in the bed and breakfast where they're at, her friend also, so that they can retrieve the backpack in the morning. Because with some people, they can't do things. He has a problem with doing things in the evening time, so they do everything in the morning, so it gives him the fresh start for his day, and he has time to adjust to it. So she asked her to stay the night so they could retrieve the backpack and the belongings in the morning. And she did. The friend didn't stay, but she did. And in the morning, interestingly enough, they had this weird bed and breakfast. It's quirky or whatever. And so yeah, a moose delivered on his antlers, on his head, a backpack to her at the breakfast table in the morning. And I don't know, but she's like, so what was the heaviest thing in my bag? And he's like, the jeans. She said, what's the light? And he didn't really say anything. He took the underwear out and put them on the butter dish on the table, of all things, the butter dish. And she's like, oh my God, and laughed, right, because that was funny. And then she starts remembering she got to get it from a friend, and she gives, like, another post score or whatever. Post scorer, which means another guy with a possibility. Anyway, so she sits down and she's talking with his mom and everything, and she's discovering more and more about his disability and the people that stay in the bed and breakfast with him. And there's the maintenance guy Juan, who has to go over and take care of someone's landscape, and that's how and the mom has to go off and run errands, and that's how we initially get into the scene. You know, basically this is me going over what I read with you guys. This is how it looks when they score the lottery. If you can see that. Anyway, you can't see it, doesn't matter. Juan got a 5. Lucette got a 3. Rosal got a 1. Jacob got a 2. Betty got a 6. So I'm assuming Clara got a 4. So this is the amount of hours that I'm not going to move forward until tomorrow or maybe next week. I don't know, because I don't want to do this once a week. I might read it and then just write notes and discuss it with you guys. But Clara got a 4, and it's her job to take him to remedial or after school. So she's going to take him to school and then take him to remedial afterwards. So he can socialize outside of home. Alright, what I find really interesting is how these people act about this town of Salem that he has invented in his head that is imaginary and only real to him. What she says about it is that spend time with him a certain amount of time each week. He's only around for 5 hours. And so when I look at that, looking at it again, it's weird the way I said it earlier about how many hours you get to spend with him. He only has 5 hours, so I guess it's 1 hour each. So I have to rethink that. Well, you rethink it. But anyway, when you get into the what makes a country real part, because she was saying that this was an imaginary town that only he can go to in his head, and you have to go with him. And that's where she gets into the part where she says, but it's imaginary, but to him it's really real. And so they treat it with a high importance. I just don't know what. I just don't know how to explain how interesting that is to me. Like, I have never read this book before, but it's really interesting that everyone is so eager to go to a place. Is it for concern for his safety, or is it concern for his health, or is it just intriguing into the subject? Compares this to my normal life. Like, my mom lived on Salem Street for like a year in this town where I was. That's where I got sold from. And like That's a dumb moment because I don't want to say anything to y'all that's stupid. But I just find it interesting that my mom lived on 7 visit. Eventually, I'm going to make a comparison in this story to my real life. And it'll make sense to you guys or not. But that's the way I do things. I always read things and then I compare them to my real life. Either explaining it, accepting it, understanding it, acknowledging it, or just piece my first book club that I'm doing. And I just found the story to be really, really good. I'm going to read the best part of the book, or the best thing that I read so far, which was the opening of chapter 4 for you guys. And then I'm going to go ahead and summarize our day. Okay? Alright, so I'm doing this because this is my favorite page. This is the one I found the most interesting. I don't know why, but I liked it. So here goes. My breath caught in my throat, and I risked the second opening of my eyes. The walls sat still, stared at me. Last night, I had fallen quickly to sleep, without toothbrush or change of clothes. I collapsed onto the bed in the dark. Now with light streaming in, I glanced about me. That will wake you up, I muttered. Each of the 4 walls was covered by a photograph. No, a drawing of an 8-foot tall, 6-foot wide, thin-faced man, the same face, a huge, gawking 40 captured from the neck up. His 4 gazes held me, however I moved about the room. Depending on which direction I glanced, the man laughed, smiled gently, or gazed proudly, all pleasant enough, except for face 4, the one on the room's east side. His dark, clouded, and sinister. That face unnerved even me, and I searched for a bathroom door. No bathroom, no mirror, charming. All of you blokes, close your eyes. I removed my outer shirt, undershirt, and bra, balled up the middle layer, and put the rest back on. Okay, for me, this is the point that was like turn around for me, because this is the point where I realized that Clara is the person's name, and Clara is a girl who wears a bra and not a guy or an older guy chatting up some young kid in the window of an airplane. Because like I told you initially, I thought this was a game. Maybe I should have read that initially in the beginning of the discussion, but that is the part that opened my eyes in the book and made me read a little bit deeper at what like into what I was looking at, and go back and check this and that to make sure that I was actually seeing what I thought I was seeing, hearing what I thought, hearing when I thought, actually making a connection between word and thought. And this is my laptop cord, so I had to move that right quick. So anyway, yeah. In summary, this book is really, really good. It has a lot of positive connections to my actual life, so I'm really enjoying reading. It may be a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's fun to do that when you read a book, especially if it keeps you intrigued, keeps you reading what you're looking at. So, this has been chapters 1 through 4. I'm going to start chapters 5 through 9. Thank you so much for joining my book club meeting today. I hope that you guys are really enjoying both of me, and that you'll be back to discuss more with me next week. Bye.